Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to give you an 8-week update on the potatoes that we planted in the previous video. Let's get started. So I hope you guys are enjoying this warm weather as much as I am. The temperatures are finally starting to warm up and I hope that they stay this way. In Ohio, it's actually been pretty cold the past few days, like 50s, lots of rain. However, the rain has definitely helped the garden. So today is May 12th and all of these potatoes were planted on March 17th, so exactly 8 weeks ago, and they're coming along just as I expected. This first container I have here is a 10-gallon fabric smart pot, and it has, I believe, 3, maybe 4 blue seed potatoes in it. In the middle we have a 15-gallon smart pot that has 5 russet seed potatoes, and behind me is another 10-gallon with probably 3 to 4 red seed potatoes. Ideally, you don't want to have more than 4 seed potatoes in a 10-gallon and no more than 5 seed potatoes in a 15, and just kind of measure from there. You can still fit a couple seed potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket if that's what you choose. You're just going to be limited on your crop size. About a month after I got these potatoes planted, on April 20th, we ended up having a pretty good frost, and I'll insert a clip here. You can see the frost damage that was caused to the young foliage. When your potatoes first start sprouting, about 2 to 3 weeks after you get them planted, your foliage is going to be real immature and delicate, but it's not necessarily going to affect your plant's production if some of your foliage gets damaged early on. When it comes to fabric containers, the best part is you can just transport them right inside. Since these are on my patio, I was able to just bring them into my kitchen and keep them safe overnight so they didn't get any further damage that they needed to recover from. And as you can see, it grows like crazy once it starts sprouting above the soil, and the temperatures start warming up to around 60 degrees, they really start to take off. Your potatoes are going to take about 4 months until you get to harvest. So after about 8 weeks, you can see here that there is plenty of foliage, and you definitely want to keep an eye, check under the leaves, see if there's any holes. If you see any pest damage, you definitely want to treat immediately before you get any infestations. Neem oil is going to be your best friend at preventative maintenance when it comes to pests. Sometimes it can be really hard if the pests have already taken over. Want me to throw your frisbee? Now, blue potatoes are a determinate crop, and the difference between indeterminate and determinate potatoes are going to be if they have a set amount of potatoes they're going to put out per plant, or if the more soil you add, the more tubers that are going to grow from your stem. So with my russet potatoes, I have them in a 15-gallon fabric pot, and you can see there is definitely 4 to 6 inches of foliage showing, which is when you want to add soil if you have more room in your fabric container. So potatoes are a cool weather loving crop. They can definitely deal with the early warm summer months. So since I planted these potatoes in mid-March, most likely they will be ready to harvest in mid-July. Now, your determinate potatoes are going to be a lot quicker to harvest versus your indeterminate, like my russets and my reds. And I actually noticed on my blue potatoes they are flowering already. Once your potatoes start to form flowers and go through a flowering cycle, the foliage actually starts to die and turn yellow. So as long as you're feeding your plant regularly, about every 2 weeks, since they are heavy feeders, especially when they're in a container, and once all this foliage starts to die off and turn yellow, then you know that your potatoes are ready to harvest. And I like to keep the soil dry for a couple weeks before I harvest. I hope this video inspired you to get some potatoes growing, because it is so easy to grow potatoes right on your patio, in your backyard, steps away from your kitchen. Let me know if you have any questions about how to grow potatoes, and in a couple short months we will be doing a harvest video.